are going to discuss about the technology which is evolving the workforce in a new manner. We have seen that technology has become one of the driving factors for the organizations today. To discuss what is going to happen in the next years with her company, Godrej Capital, we have Jyothirlatha, the CIO of Godrej Capital, with us, who is going to discuss about the workforce efficiency that the company is moving towards to and what are their goal plans in the coming years. Hello, ma'am.
Thank you, Vanshika. Pleasure to be here.
I'm great to have you. I think we are meeting it after a long time,
Yes,
after having
of
a
course.
good association for 1.5 years.
Yes.
So, how it's going for you right now?
Very action-packed years we are having. You know, Godrej Capital is a
Yeah.
fast-growing company,
Yeah.
and we do have a very ambitious plan in place. And yes, technology-wise, you can expect a lot of action, so many projects going on, and improvement initiatives and new product baskets and all. Yes, for technology, it's a wonderful year.
I think that's very exciting to hear about as well. We have seen your company becoming one of the leading innovation sector that I have seen, because so many innovations are coming on board and your customer are actually changing in a rapid speed as well, as we have seen in recent time. What do you have to say about that? What your organization have seen in the recent customer experience survey, if I ask you?
A very interesting question, actually. So, customer obsession is one of the values for us. So, in the entire organization, if you see customer obsession and our NPS scores are at most important and at the highest priority. So, the first customer with whom he interacts with the salespeople. Right, first in the onboarding, from the beginning of the journey, if you see, onboarding is the first step, the customer. So during that onboarding process, there are a lot of issues for the salespeople. If you see the old processes, generally they had to carry a lot of documentation in terms of the policies, processes, to give some kind of answers to customers' queries and all. That huge documentation was required, and also the training of the salespeople was really tremendous. So now, what we have taken up is like a customer obsession I have already touched upon. At the same time, how you are achieving the customer obsession by actually taking care of your internal employees also. How they are able to service the customers. That is very important. So when my salesperson is not having the adequate tools and techniques to answer the customer queries, to give him that enough information, it becomes very difficult for any customer to take the call. But we are into lending, you know that already. So for lending decision is a very, very big decision in any customer's life cycle, right? So for that, what are the things that I can enable? So that is what our team has worked on. It's a kind of any technology implementation, as you know, it is a combination of people, process, and technology. We worked on our people and we trained them for the whatever, how to use that application and all. And of course, some of the processes we tweaked and technology in place. What we have done is we have eliminated the salesperson need of getting into multiple applications to get the enough information to service the customer. So this kind of you can say this is a super app for the salespeople in our organization. With that, what happened is like customer, it's an on-go application. You can access this application on the go. So what is happening is, since the real-time information is available to the customer, to the salesperson, it becomes very he is able to engage the customer in a very, very meaningful way. And second problem, what happens is once he gets into the customer domain, there are a lot of things he has to interact with the backend teams. So that used to happen in the form of the mails and form of some telephone calls and like that. So through this application, without having to get into multiple these kind of physical channels, he can raise a query and he can get the resolution immediately. And the kind of interfacing between backend and also the sales team has really improved drastically. And with that, it is like a kind of this application is a kind of a one-stop shop for all the salespeople, where they can understand the lead details and they know what is the status of the lead, how it is flowing, and what interaction is important right now for the customer. And they do have beat plans in that. They can go to multiple products and then pick the right product for the customer. Yes, this is what we have done. Perfect. So the app internally we call it as Sales One, because this, as I said, it is a one-stop stop for salespeople. So Sales One is a unified app which is having multiple data points for the salesperson, and multiple features are there in that where he can initiate queries, he can view the queries, under which I have already explained earlier. So yes, this is a Sales One app. And Godrej Capital is born in the cloud organization. So this is built on cloud technologies. And very proudly, I must say, this is an internal built app. It is a homegrown app. And with a very low cost app, we are able to service our internal customers. We treat our employees as our internal customers. So we are able to give them the better service using this cloud-born technologies and with the in-house grown application.
I think that's something which is more have become more relevant now, And you talked about the cost over here. If I may ask you, when you have to deal with the cost of this app, right, and starting from the first building stage, how did the process of determining the budget, and then saying that what kind of people should be involved in the project, what kind of management you have to do with the other teams as well, which is on board. How did that whole process took up place?
Very interesting question again. So I may say we have followed the DevOps process, and nothing can be implemented without the support from your stakeholders. Like it is a people process technology again, right? So there is a team that got formed where the people from business side who are actually users, those people are also involved in designing the app, so that we will not be getting kind of shock after actually implementation of this app. So actual users were involved, and of course our product team got involved, and our technology teams are anyway there. So with all those people, we have come up with the features which are more relevant to our environment and our organization status. Because if you go with the products, nothing, no offense to any kind of product and all, but what happens is you will be getting 1,000 features. Out of that, you may be using only 2 or 3 for your organization. What happens is it becomes a burden for the maintenance later. So it may be a good go, but when you are not using the entire the functionality which it is supposed to be, then there is no point in investing in those kind of things. That was a mantra that we followed. So with that kind of call, what we have done is we have really done the MVP approach, the minimum viable product. With that minimum viable product, we have tested this on the ground, how it is getting accepted.
If I ask you, you talk about handling. You have, when you are building an app, it's for the people, right? Having because you are doing it for the sales efficiency in the first place. Definitely, there have to be some challenges in understanding what they want itself. Also, would have to be taken a place. And as you stated about building from the scratch, that is something which is very, very difficult. Definitely, because you already have the existing IT infrastructure in place. So you have to see that what kind of things you can utilize and what you have to do it, from the first hand.
Yes.
So how did you do that? Like, what was the challenges in that aspect?
So again, another interesting question. So as an organization, we are very, very young. Okay. So what happens is like when you are developing something, unlike the legacy applications and all, I do know that this particular service will be useful tomorrow in some other app. So our build itself, in be it our core system or be it our onboarding systems and all, we have followed our service-oriented architecture. In the service-oriented architecture, in the actual meaning, if you see that, it is very easy for me to take out some of the APIs from that. It's not exactly the service-oriented architecture type, but I do know these are some of the things that I would be requiring as APIs. The build itself was made in such a way that I will be able to reuse those APIs wherever I want. So similar kind of APIs are used in Salesforce. The similar kind of APIs we have used in our customer portals, which are a kind of self-service channels and all. So it's a kind of putting those APIs in different baskets. It in some of the places we have used microservices. In some of the places, it's a kind of some of the business logics there written in such a way that it can be reused. So that has really helped in turning around the time of actually the rollout of this application. And second one is how do I arrive at that MVP features, right? So that was another question from you. So how do I arrive at? I should be knowing what happens in salesperson's life every day. So from the morning to evening, where exactly his time is going, and where exactly he is facing challenges. That was very important to understand. Our team has studied all these challenges along with the people from the ground itself. So when then we came to know, it becomes very difficult for them to understand where the file is, what is the status of the file, what is the status of that processing, and the if customer is there, how do they plan the beat plan and all, so that they can get that particular data, and how do they plan their kind of collection of the documents, and what kind of digital channel I can provide to pass on that documents to my backend teams. So all these things we have arrived at, as these are the main pain points.
As we move forward, I'm sure that there were implementation phases also, right?
Yes.
Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, because every technological project we know that with the phase 1 we feel like we have achieved something new. So when it comes to the implementation phases, can you just break down for us that how did you do the implementation of this whole process from 1 to 2 to 3?
As I said, MVP is actually for solving the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Then second phase comes where you will add value to the sales people's life in this particular. It's actually true for any kind of implementation. The first phase is always how do I solve current problem, and second phase is always how to add value to their interactions and all. And third phase will become a kind of evolving phase where you will be having a kind of innovations and all to be put in that one, and you will be seeing whether that is working or not working, and accordingly you can take some of the decisions. So this also followed the same path. So the initial phase was always a kind of problem solving mode, because nothing was there for them, or maybe maintaining in Excels, and some of the things were maintained in multiple applications in kind of silos and all. It becomes very difficult to ask those kind of features by giving them those, like status of the application, is a kind of real-time tracking of the application. So we have observed that they were talking to the backend teams. It's almost 80 to 90% adoption is there in all the locations.
You talked about real-time tracking. I'm sure when it comes to that, there have to be a lot of, dealt with the data itself also.
Yes.
Because when real-time tracking comes into the place, you have to do the real-time data analytics as well.
Yes.
And if that is a combination, then only the accuracy part of that also something which have to be dealt beforehand. So how did you dealt with that kind of challenge? Was there a challenge like that for you?
Yes, it was a challenge, and we so as you rightly pointed out, for servicing sales, it will not happen by just focusing on that particular area, right? So if I have to get the data, or if I have to give them the document related some things, it's a kind of three. Overall the multiple systems are involved. So you asked about the data. That's a very valid question, because for this sales one application, we have set up our data mart, and we are using we are having a good data warehouse system, and we have prepared some of the data marts which are actually helping to get the real time data extracted from all these multiple systems and showing on Salesforce application.
What do you think actually work out good for you guys? Because when you are working in any of the project, you and I both know that it's so difficult on the process to get it corrected at at implementation itself only. Correct. So that when you are doing the monitoring, you are aware of, okay, this went wrong, I have to do it again and again, because it took a lot of time.
So involve the right people at the beginning itself. That is a strategy, because people who are actually using those people's inputs are very much very much important. So we have involved them in the design phase itself. And second one is doing the pilot is very important, because in the pilot you will know where you are successful and where you are not. So even successful features you can always look into and find out why it was successful and why it is not. So giving this app, because every region is different actually. So the way some feature works in one region may not work in other regions. That's what we found, because customers are different. Our systems are on cloud, and we do have a cloud native applications in that. So changing those has become very easy. It's not a kind of big legacy system where I will take a lot of time to do some kind of changes and all. Which that challenge we could eliminate by doing this kind of cloud adoption.
If I ask you that with this implementation of whole project, what were the benefits and the jump that you see that, oh, wow, okay, this happened and this is showing some results for us?
Huge impact is there on the TAT.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so of course, because it's like the interactions between the front end and back end teams, which used to be a kind of mails or the physical interactions and all, that has come as a kind of system query and tracked in a better way, and governance has come in place so that the SLAs can be met. So that is a big improvement that I can see. And second one is the transparency, of course. And up to 60% we have improved our TAT by giving the query module where the salespeople are able to answer the queries online, and they can see the status of the cases online.
You talked about data houses as well. So what were the tools that you actually utilized to understand this whole process and make it more easier so that you can work on it more accurately way, if I ask?
So we have used that to get the data from that data warehouse, and we could give that in the form of the dashboard to the salespeople. That has really helped. And coming to the technologies on which we have developed this application, it is of course we are actually cloud-born application. We are completely onto AWS. So we have used some of the native technologies to build this application, and along with our API driven, which is actually our core applications and all are having a lot of APIs and all, we have developed all those APIs which can be used in multiple applications.
Ma'am, as you talked about, application, we have seen that super apps and application itself have become one of the driving factor for every organization. Even when it comes to different kind of industries, every other organization is actually looking the exposure of getting applications on board and trying them out for their customer or either for their internal users as you are. But when it comes to UI and UX part of it, as someone who is leading this project, how do you look at that interface of making it more efficient for the salespeople? What did you actually learn from that, if I ask?
Actually, the way you think is like this UI is looking good, or this user experience is good for the sales, or for that matter, actually for any application. That may not be true, because the way they use the application, you have to understand the way they actually operate. Based on that, you should be having kind of design thinking. So that is a workshop that would be very much required to come up with how to actually design the front ends.
Yes. As you stated that the benefits have actually given you a lot of good exposure when it comes to the sales efficiency and the huge jump that you have seen in the number. But when it comes to the ongoing part, right, because there are many things that needs to be worked on after the benefits that you have seen. So what are those ongoing parts that you are looking out for right now?
So there are a lot of other functionalities which we are looking for, but more than that, I would like to touch upon one thing. If I can get some kind of insights out of the data, which can help the customer, which can help our customers who are nothing but our salespeople right now. So that would be the focus next year. With all these the new things which are coming like Chat GPT and all, we are doing some kind of, we are trying to do it, at least they're trying to take the baby steps in the OpenAI and all. So if we can get insights out of it, which can be more beneficial to the employees, which a kind of employee efficiency is, in a way it will turn into a customer focused organization, right? So that is what I would like to, and we will be focusing on that now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think it was great talking to you after a long time. I'm looking forward to see what can be more done on this project. I will definitely keep a loop on it. So thank you for imparting us with this, unique case study.
My pleasure, Vanshika. Thanks a lot to you and ETCIO for coming and giving us an opportunity to showcase our case study.